Mike.
All right, good morning. Welcome to ROI University Summer Semester 2017. Carrie couldn't be here this morning, so I'm doing the introductions. As most of you know, we're coming here to learn about edge banding today. So as you guys get the look at the quiz is only for those folks that aren't here today. So you don't have to take the quiz. It's only if you take the video class, which you guys don't have to do because you're already here, you already got your punch. Great news, after the first class and our video review folks, we are on pace to earn the barbecue at the end of the summer. Big round of applause. So the scribe cuts, the version 1.0 where we learned about scribe cuts, that video and quiz is all on the J drive. So if you need to pass it to somebody else or you want to review it before you need to talk to somebody, go to the J drive, ROI University, scribe cuts. But today we're going to learn about edge banding, so here's the professionals.
Ulysses is here to show us how to do it.
Hi everybody. All right, we're going to start with 1 mil.
1 mil is the easiest, that's why we're going to start with the easiest one. Everybody on the back, please come around so you get to see everything.
So hey, before we start, how many different kinds of edge banding are there, Miguel?
Too many.
So 3/4 inch?
3/4 inch and an eighth, 2 1/4. We have 1 mil, 2 mil, 3 mil, and laminate.
Thank you.
We're going to show 1 mil, 2 mil, and laminate today in T-mode.
So that's why it's important if we're going to go send somebody out to do a edge banding exercise. We need to know what the material of the surface is. We need to know the thickness of the surface so that we send the team out with the right stuff.
Right. The tools that are required is the high-end brush, glue, heat gun, and the edge banding. You apply the glue to the board. When we are going to do the edge on site, we apply the glue to the 1 millimeter here in-house, so we don't have to do twice as that out there to speed up the process a little bit. We also need a hair dryer to do this. Basically the same thing. It's a heat gun, a little bit hotter than the hair dryer, but works the same way.
All right, so you apply it. As you can see, there's a lot of mess.
Drying it part way.
Yes. So it goes on white and you gotta wait until it all clears out.
When it's all turned up, means it's ready to apply.
So we all know that we have 3 edge banding machines now in the manufacturing plant, right? So if this is done here, it's all automated. Out in the field, it all has to be done by hand.
All right, it's fairly dry. So this one, like he said, has already what we did there to the edge band. Still too wet. next step, you roll this on really good until
Nice and tight.
nice and tight. All right, now for the dirty work. So we use a flush trimmer first. That gives you nice and even.
What is that?
A flush trimmer. Now we're gonna give it the radius with the radius trimmer. Now you're gonna prepare it somewhat. This gives it an even closer shave to the board.
That's it?
That's it.
Why did you run marker along the edge?
Why not?
Just to clear up the separation between the glue and the board.
Because the glue is white,
White.
this board is dark, so it helps a little bit to
blend it.
add a little bit the seam. Good? Alright. Let's do laminate now. The laminate is basically the same process. You apply the glue the same way, but there's some difference that he will show.
Does anybody know why we edge band the surfaces? What are some ideas of why we would finish the edge? Why would we finish the edge, Lise?
Because it looks like
Because it would look unfinished, right? Is there any other reasons why we would laminate the edge other than to make it look pretty? It's sharp, right? It's also a place, if we don't finish that edge and seal it off, if water got in there, it would blow this thing up. So we need to seal the laminate to the edge banding. That's what that glue does, create a water seal. And I don't know, I haven't got one, but we probably, you know when we got our first edge bander? 2004. So before that, all the furniture we made had to be done by hand, edge banding all this by hand. Has everybody seen the edge bander in process?
no.
So you guys, you gotta go out into the shop and you got to watch the process of how that machine works, because literally it's as easy as picking up this surface, putting it on a table, and as it moves across, it's that really long machine over there. It sands the edge, it glues it, it applies the whatever edge banding we want, and it files it all the way through, right, Lulu?
Right.
One step.
So one step takes 5 seconds.
Literally, as fast as you can walk, it edge bands it, then they take it off, they turn it and do the other edge and the other edge, because this surface only needs to be on the CNC for a few minutes, but it's got to go through the edge bander 4 times. Yeah, we can see if it's working.
So when are times that we have to do it in the field?
Oh, okay. So Ulysses, when will we do this in the field? We don't necessarily do it with every scribe cut.
No, it's when they want the product to be wall to wall. Or when someone bumps into it, damages, or it falls off where time, wear and tear.
Sometimes we need to cut a surface down to make a work surface fit in a new location, and then we would cut the surface and edge band it so that we have a edge band to edge band. When's the first year we got our first edge band?
1999.
99, first edge band.
It was from the 1800s, but we had an edge band.
And otherwise, we had to do it all by hand, right?
Yeah. We literally had to have a technician every week because it was not old.
So we're handing these around. Does everybody know what the difference between a laminate edge band is and a 1 mil and a 2 mil edge band is? That's a good one. Warranty on the vinyl edge, no warranty on the laminate edge. Laminate edge isn't as durable, it's more brittle. As you can see, it could chip. The vinyl edges are more absorbent. They'll handle an impact so it won't chip. The color doesn't go all the way through, right?
Right.
The color does go all the way through, so if there's a gouge on the vinyl, you won't be as noticeable as the laminate strip.
Laminate. It doesn't color all the way through, so it chips. Vinyl.
So if we need to buy this edge banding by the mile. That's why we only stock a handful of colors. Laminate, we could actually make an edge band. We could put a sheet of laminate on the table saw. We could cut it to the right diameter, so we could make these. But the vinyl, what's the minimum order?
If it is a stack, one roll, which is 360 feet, but if it is not in a stack, it has to be 5,000 feet.
5,000 feet. So that's why when the guy wants to order one private office in a certain color and we don't have a matching edge band, he's got to buy 5,000 feet of edge banding. Or he does a different color. Sometimes, like we're seeing a complementing color here, a black could go on here. What standard colors of 2 mil or edge banding do we stock? What color?
Every catapult color plus about a handful of other colors like
GB5.
like the light gray, stainless, black, white, and we have a lot more colors that are with us by buying a whole roll and using only for one table. So we got plenty of colors, but it all depends on the size of the job. We can utilize that or not.
there's a lot of, if dust or any particle gets stuck on it, it's easy to, on the edge especially, it bows out. So you gotta make sure that the laminate is nice and clean, because it's, unlike the PVC could like mold into that bump, which laminate can't. So the difference between the melamine and the laminate is that it's a lot harder to clean and to finish.
That's where the fight will take place. Mostly, actually,
So you want to make sure it's nice and clean before you start filing, because then you don't know when to stop, and if you don't know when to stop, then
if you're too aggressive with the file, then you will damage the surface.
because the surface will, if you get to the surface faster than you get to the laminate, you're in trouble, because the surface will scratch a lot faster than the laminate.
Why are you doing that, Ulysses?
That's to make sure that's even. You gotta check it every single time, because then, like I said, if you get to that board, then you're replacing a new board.
And you don't want a little lip.
Why don't you want to leave a lip?
Because the laminate get damaged. Anything you stuck in, you'll damage it.
That's the easiest way for it to pull it off, right? If it's not filed properly, you'll either cut your finger or it'll get pulled right off.
Yeah, and if you don't finish it quite wrong and you're working on your surface and your hand goes crazy, then you've got a big cut. Then insurance.
Okay, now that's it. We're only finishing up one side because we're running out of time for the other two. But basically the same thing happens on the other side. That's it?
Use the black marker on there too, right, to get rid of that
Yeah.
white line.
Yeah.
That's it? Now we're going to go with the 2 mil. And we're going to apply it to a radius. That's it for now. One of the reasons that 2 millimeter or 3 millimeter has to be a bigger radius to make it happen is because it's a lot richer than laminate.
we use 2-inch on catapult? I mean, 2 mil on catapult, 3 mil on
3 mil is the standard thickness in the industry. 2 mil is a lot easier for the tooling of the machines, and that's the reason.
All right, so we ran into luck on this one.
Why luck?
80% of the times that we try to do this radius by hand, the vinyl tends to pull out because how rigid it is. So imagine if this is 2 inches, not even half of this, that's what I said that is wrong. Okay? With laminate you can go 2 inches, with vinyl 4 inches minimum.
by hand, 2 inches with vinyl on the machine.
For vinyl, 4 inches minimum radius, laminate 2 inches.
But can you do a 2-inch radius with vinyl on the edge bander? No.
We can, yes, but in no time it'll pull apart, and we don't want that.
So that's for, well, you would not really have radius like that for the 1 mil, right? Because
1 mil doesn't matter because we don't do radius. I mean, we do, there's some occasions where you have to, but with 1 mil you can go to 1 inch radius and you're fine. Even a half inch because it's so thin.
So on the field, if this wouldn't have worked and it would bow and it would create air bubbles in between here, we would have to use clamps and we would have to wait even longer.
Put them on until everything is nice and dry, and then just go like this. They will not pull apart. This is a 6-inch radius.
And then try eating on your break with your fingers like this. Doesn't happen.
so then clarifying again,
Huh?
the minimum radius for a 2 mil edge is 4.
4 inches, yeah.
And what is the minimum radius for a 3 mil edge?
Same. 2 and 3 is the same rule.
How do you butt the corners, Miguel? Is it edge banding a corner instead of a radius?
No, you use cut it strand that you overlap the other.
So it still stays one piece, you cut it and it turns 90 degrees?
No, like in this case, if I was going to do this whole surface, I will trim this evenly and the other one comes out. And,
So it does like a butt joint?
yeah. Router you're using.
We're finishing off this side because we're gonna do another presentation of T-mold on this side. So on this side.
Like in this case, we're using this special template to do the radius on the 2 millimeter because it's a lot thicker than laminate or 1 mil. It requires a different tool. And what that router did, it gives it the radius that it's supposed to have. Now we're going to show T-mold. You might want to get closer on this one.
You get the dust form.
Get something going. So in order to do T-mold, you have to do the slab first, which is going to take this part of the T-mold. And this is the reason why every time that people ask me to do something on the field with T-mold, I always say no. It's very difficult and it's massive. Because you're about to experience. See what I mean? Imagine this in an office environment. It's very dusty, not to mention that it's just a pain in the ass. So the other reason why is because in order to apply this T-mold, you need the air hammer, which goes brrr. You need like an airline. On the field, you have to do with just the mallet, which is not as good as the air hammer.
Yeah, how does that go on again? The air thing?
They hear me loud. Anyway, this is quarter round T-mold. We also have regular T-mold. It gets applied the same way. There is no difference between one or the other. The only difference is that the regular T-mold, you can apply it to a tighter radius rather than the quarter round. Quarter round is a lot more rigid than regular T-mold. Now, we do not do T-molds on catapult. The reason why is because the impact of the air hammer will tip that millimeter paper. Laminate is a lot stronger. High pressure laminate takes a lot more to hit. That's why we can only do it with laminate.
When do we use T-mold in versus like vinyl edge?
It's just a choice on the customer. But T-mold has to.
How do you think that compares to the vinyl edge?
This is a lot more durable. This is like indestructible. Vinyl edge is second to that, and laminate is the most vulnerable out of all. You know, something like this, it'll drop, nothing happens to it. A laminate, it'll chip right on. And this, people like this because it's also soft on their hands when they're working on it. Because of the bigger radius and the plastic part. Right. Any other questions? No? Yes?
I'm sure it takes a lot of effort to pull it out of that line, but you guys don't glue it
This?
well. Yeah.
It takes not a lot. Well, like in this case, because I left a lip here, I will be able to pull it off. But once you started it, and it just pulls it off.
Sorry, Ulysses.
Now,
But you gotta remember,
you gotta remember this, because I did this, if I put a T-mold back on, now this is too big. Now it's gonna be loose. So what we do, if we want to reuse the same surface, we have to do bundle and do the slot again. Bundle. The same thing they use on body shops to fix cars.
so we gotta fill it, wait for it to dry, and then redo the cut.
Right? Any other questions? Concerns? Everybody happy? Perfect.
Thanks for everybody
Thank you.
coming today. You got details in your packet about those radius details and the warranty details, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right.